All right, so today we're diving into a story that I'm sure, well, a lot of you probably remember, at least vaguely, right? It's the Mika Singh and Rakhi Sawant controversy.
Yeah, this one's got it all right. Birthday parties, Bollywood drama, accusations, legal battles. It's got layers.
Oh yeah, tons of layers. And it really it's stuck around, hasn't it? Like, it's not just a flash in the pan celebrity gossip thing.
No, not at all. I mean, this thing went on for years and years, and it really shaped how people saw both Mika Singh and Rakhi Sawant, really had a lasting impact. So for those who maybe need a little refresher, we're talking about 2006, right? Mika Singh, big-time singer, is having this birthday bash.
Huge party.
And Rakhi Sawant, she's always been known for her, let's say, her bold personality, decides to, do the classic birthday move.
Smear cake on the birthday boy's face.
Exactly. But here's the thing, Mika. He's got a skin allergy, and he actually asks her not to. Politely, from what I understand.
But Rakhi, well, being Rakhi, she goes for it anyway.
Yeah, and that's where things really take a turn.
Because he kisses her. And not just like a peck on the cheek.
No, this was a full-on forceful kiss, and then he basically says it was to teach her a lesson.
Okay, I remember this blowing up in the media, but I had never really followed the legal side of it. So what actually happened after that kiss? I mean, how did it go from a party to lawyers in courtrooms?
Well, Rocky's reaction was immediate. I mean, she was furious. She accused Mika of molestation and filed a police case, which, as anyone familiar with the Indian legal system knows, means an FIR, a first information report, was registered.
Right, the FIR, that's like the first step in getting a legal case, a criminal case going.
Exactly. So the charges against Mika were filed under Sections 354 and 323 of the Indian Penal Code. Section 354, that's the molestation charge, and 323 covers assault.
Wow, so this is serious stuff, not just a little disagreement anymore.
No, not at all. And of course, the media, they went crazy. I mean, this was front page news for days, weeks even. Everyone had an opinion.
It must have been a really divided public reaction, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine some people being like, come on, it's just a kiss, get over it.
Oh, absolutely. Public opinion was totally split. You had people fiercely supporting Rakhi. They saw what Mika did as a complete violation, No matter what her intentions were, he had no right to do that. It brought up that whole discussion of men feeling entitled to teach women a lesson.
And I bet there were plenty of people defending Mika, too.
Tons. The boys will be boys kind of crowd. They saw it as harmless fun, maybe a bit rough, but nothing to get so worked up about. Some even said Rakhi was overreacting for attention.
Interesting how something like this, just one incident, can reveal so much about, about where society's at in terms of these issues.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating looking back on it. It captures this moment where conversations about consent, about respecting boundaries, they were just starting to emerge in a bigger way in India.
And here's this case right in the middle of it all. So tell me, what happened with the legal proceedings? I mean, you said it went on for years.
17 years, to be exact.
Wow, 17 years. So did they actually go to trial? What happened?
It was a long, drawn-out process, lots of back and forth. But here's the crazy part. In June 2023, out of the blue, it seems, Rakhi submitted this affidavit to the Bombay High Court.
An affidavit, that's like a sworn statement, right?
Yep, basically saying that they'd reached an amicable resolution.
Amicable? After 17 years of this.
I know, right? It's wild. But that's what led to the court finally quashing the FIR and the charge sheet against Mika.
Hold on. So the charge sheet, that's the formal document with all the charges laid out, right? So they basically dropped the whole thing.
Yep. Case closed. It turned out that Mika had actually petitioned the court to dismiss the case a few months earlier in April of 23. So it seems like there was some kind of reconciliation happening behind the scenes.
Okay, I'm really curious now. What do we know about this so-called amicable resolution? I mean, did someone apologize? What happened?
There were definitely apologies involved. Reports suggested that both of them had some serious conversations, kind of owning up to their part in the whole mess. It seemed like they both genuinely wanted to put it behind them.
I guess, after 17 years, you'd kind of have to, right?
Right. But it's interesting, though, because even though legally it's all settled, this whole thing, it's still a part of their story. You can't just erase 17 years of headlines and public debate,
No, absolutely not. And it makes you think, right, like, what if this happened today, in the age of #MeToo, with so much more awareness about consent and boundaries?
That's the big question, isn't it? Would people react the same way? Would the media coverage be different? Would the legal outcome be different?
Tough to say, but it's definitely something to think about. And I think, for our listeners, even though this happened way back in 2006, there's still some really important takeaways here. It really highlights how much society's views on consent have evolved, right?
Definitely. And it also shows how these incidents, even ones involving celebrities, they can spark these really important conversations about boundaries, about power dynamics, especially in industries like Bollywood.
Totally. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here. This has been a really fascinating look back at a really controversial chapter in Bollywood history.
Yeah, and I hope it's got people thinking,
Yeah.
thinking about how far we've come, but also how far we still have to go.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Hope you found it insightful.